Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend. Okay, it's Monday, and straight to business. We're staying on the polity. As you know, it's politics. It's very much in this season, and the general elections are not all that far away. Yeah, February, here we are in June, just coming to the end of June. So we're staying on the polity. Now, as you know, the ruling party has a majority in the Senate, in fact, in the National Assembly. But things could be changing following rancor, dynamic movements after, in the lead up to the primaries, following from amendments to the Electoral Act. And we'll sort of explore that. The chair of the ruling party, Senator Abdullahi, he was in the National Assembly very recently to, sort of speak to the members there to see what could be done as it concerns what has been referred to as a gale of defections from the ruling party to other parties. So much so that Senator Adeseye Ogunlewe, who is my guest this morning, a fine morning to you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you,
audience.
Indeed, thank you very much. Former Minister of Works, APC chieftain. You were telling me earlier that, well, actually, it's a serious matter because in the House of Reps, up to 174 people might indeed be, moving parties, moving camp. In the Senate, 57. The majority has slimmed down of the ruling party in the Senate. Now, all of this, how much of a danger do you think this is, if at all, to the fortunes of the ruling party, especially moving forward into the election?
Well, let's talk first about the genesis of the crisis and the problem. In the 2010 Electoral Act, Section 86, subsection 7, specified the delegates that should participate in primaries as reflected in the constitution of the party. That is, it is the statutory delegate that will be listed in the constitution of the party. Then this ad hoc delegate will also be included in the composition of who to participate in the primary. This same clause was repeated without any alteration whatsoever on the 2022 Electoral Act. But somebody within the National Assembly just suddenly escalated this clause to mean that statutory delegates will not participate, which is not correct.
Do you think, was that a mistake or was it an intentional move, do you think?
It can never be, because it has hurt them now. Because why was it necessary for you now to remember that you must specify statutory delegate in the law? That should be in the constitution of the party. So it is not a new law at all. It's not a new clause. But now, when it was now escalated, the governor now sees that opportunity to say, no, if that amendment was not signed, we are going to rely on the ad hoc delegates, which are not determined, which would be, so to speak, selected by the governor. And you don't have any role to play in it. And that was what was done. And the governor now determined who is going to win the primary. And they did so. So they lost out completely in their respective states.
That is members of the National Assembly
in particular.
In particular, okay.
To the extent that 177 of them in the House of Reps will not come back. It's not good for our democracy, right? But that is the situation now. How can you now tell me not to contest election because I have been skimmed out of the system? It is my right to say, no, I will contest on the platform of another political party that can give me the opportunity to contest and compete. So and that's what is there now.
So all the talk about party discipline hardly applies in this situation. I mean, doing what won't hurt the party. It's like the governors have said, okay, if that's the way we're going to play it, let's play that way. And as you said, it's to the detriment of the members themselves, seeking a return ticket. But is it really to the advantage of the governor?
It has happened. It has happened to the advantage of the governor, no doubt at all. But what the party needs to do now, particularly as it concerns our own principal, that is the Ashwaju as the candidate of APC, we must now escalate the importance of governance at each state level because the competition will be fierce. Some of these members of National Assembly, in their constituency, they are very popular. And to defeat them will be very difficult. Like Kebbi, Senator Ameliorating was the governor for 8 years. He was a minister. Then he won as a senator the second time. So you cannot just tell me that it's not going to be important in Kebbi State. So what do you think the governor should do to minimize the damage he will do to the party? Because he has moved to PDP. And that is going to, it is the same thing in Edo. So the party must sit down and tactically address how to tackle these people. They will probably injure the party if care is not taken.
Well, as you say, if care is not taken. So do you consider it a retrievable situation?
It's too late.
That's...
You cannot conduct any primary anymore. You cannot change the names of those people that have won the primary because they have signed the result and they will not intentionally resign. And that is the law. They must resign with their own
and there are grounds for resignation.
And swear to an affidavit of withdrawal. Would they do so? No. They've taken the ticket. They've taken the ticket against an incumbent who is going to be from other political parties, NNP, PDP, Accord Party, Labour Party, and the battle will be very fierce at the state level. Particularly the election for the presidency and member of the National Assembly will hold the same day. How do we manage them?
Indeed, because also there is the fact that these people, as you said, are going to be, if they're already very popular in their area when they were in APC and they moved to another party because they felt they've been, hard done by, it's going to be equally difficult. Is that because, you know how they say elections are really for the party? That is not the individuals per se. The party owns the results of the election. You are voted, elected on the premises of a party, so it's not on your individual. Is the party going to be hurt by any of this, or will the party come back?
The only persuasion we can discuss with them is to vote APC for presidency. They will never allow APC to win easily in the Senate or House of Rep if they are very popular in their constituency. It's hard. They want to protect their own names, their own popularity, and the interests of their own people by winning for the Senate or House of Rep. But when it comes to presidency, probably if there's an arrangement, they can vote for APC.
Okay, well, sort of an accord and an understanding.
Yes, I'm talking about what are the possibilities.
What are the possibilities?
What can the party be doing to reduce the damage? There will be damages.
Because there is damage. It's a matter of how do you ameliorate it.
Yes.
You know, the APC is the ruling party, no doubt, and people think of the leading opposition being the PDP. But in this season, casting your mind, just looking at the polity, a lot of parties that would have been thought that we usually think of as fringe parties, if not smaller parties, parties that, quote unquote, don't have structures. These parties, as you know, have been quite vibrant, especially with the youth. So going forward, how much stock do you place on a different political time, either from yours when you first went to the Senate or even now? How different is the climate?
The factors are changing very, very fast and drastically. The youths are coming up to vote for a preferred candidate. It's for APC now to sit down, identify those areas where these youths will cause damages and strategize for or against them. Not all of them will move. Some of them can still be harvested to support the party. But you must identify that area cleverly and work on it. Don't assume that it won't do any damage. It can.
The governor of Edo, when he was in your party, and in fact, he had to move to the PDP because of disagreements within the party, and won there. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about? That kind of effect?
Yes, but things can be rectified if you are strategizing. Don't allow it to happen. Don't assume it will not happen.
Do you think your party, the APC, the ruling party, do you think it's gonna adjust itself quickly enough? Because this is about being, as you've said, used expressions like cleverly, wisely. So do you think it can be nimble on its feet in the light of what the youth from social media, it needs to be said, that's where we're getting all the information from, are saying that they are going to make a very marked difference this time. And I must say, give me your opinion too, if you will, sir, that one hasn't seen this kind of activism, this kind of engagement on behalf of the youth. How much of an issue is that going forward? Because the way APC, indeed the bigger parties used to do things is different. Now suddenly people are talking about Obi and those kind of candidates.
There is no doubt it is a factor, but it is not going to be 100% if you are strategic. Each political party has the youth wing.
Okay.
At the world level, there is a youth leader. At the local government level, there is a youth leader. At the senatorial level, there is a youth leader. At the state level, there is a youth leader. At the national level, there is a youth leader. So they have to do more work now than ever before. Because once you are a youth leader, what must you now do? Not to allow all the youths in your community drift to other political party without you having an influence on what they should do. So okay. That is your strategy.
Okay.
And I can assure you, it can never be 100%. But you have now to cleverly say, okay, these youths are a big factor now.
That's right. You can't.
And I don't want them to vote against my party. What can I do? What must I do? Right from the beginning now.
So it's
as they are going to register, you have to harvest some of them. You have to pursue some of them. You have to make sure that they are not all in opposition to your party. You cannot sit down. Because after they've registered, believing that you don't care for them, it's going to be very difficult to persuade them to now vote for your party. A few of them can come back. But right away now, the youth wing of APC must start to work.
And I'm sure in that case they will be enabled by the party to do the necessary, which has not been the case before.
No, that's what I'm saying. We still have time. True. They have become a factor now.
Okay, one moment, sir. Mr. George, good morning to you.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guests as well.
Senator Ogunlewe.
Yes. Uncle Yori, this is what I have been saying, if you recall, in my previous contributions, that APC has no party management. It is the only government I have seen where the president is not interested in party affairs. And I had said at one point that the president should allow Asiwaju Tinubu to manage the party. But they sidelined him from everything. Now it's hunting them back. What is happening is the effect of lack of party management. And it's almost like the senator there said, it's almost too late to address it now. Now that Tinubu is the presidential candidate of the party, I think it is still, with the skill we know that he has, he will still be able to talk to these people in the language they understand, promising them something in the next dispensation if he can get their cooperation, because he needs their cooperation to win that election. If you win a presidential election and you don't win the House or the Senate, governance will be very difficult for you. So the parties they are defecting to, Uncle Yori, they are not strong enough. I know some of them are strong individuals, but the parties they are defecting to are not strong enough to give a total eclipse of APC. So the presidential candidate has a lot of work to do. I'm very happy that he has the skill. From what we know of him, he knows how to reach people. He knows when and where to reach people to get what he wants. Let him deploy this ability, into play at this point in time and make sure he gets good results. For the National Assembly, they said they want to override the president on that about that law. Why did they drop it? It was the same mistake they made when they said there should be direct primary, which would have been of benefit to all of them and to the system. But they dropped it. If you cannot pursue a cause, don't embark on it. That's the way I see it. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. What do you think about that notion that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, national leader, as he was referred to before, now presidential candidate of your party, arguably has had to step back for the party leader, the president, just as we have in the States, the governor being the party leader there. But Asiwaju has a unique touch and a unique connection with APC supporters up and down the land. How much of a role do you think he can also play in the thing that the chairman of APC said is worrying him, so much so that he's had to make a visit to the National Assembly to have a meeting with his members there?
Well, it is the governors that can salvage the situation.
The governors, really?
Yes. The governors are not too old people. I've not seen a governor that is 70-year-old. So they can come down and become youths and relate with the youths in their states, in the community,
in their
and
language.
Come back to be the campaign, strategist for the party. The youths will relate more to somebody who can offer them a lot of opportunities.
And
that is the governor.
And also speak in their language.
Because they must come down now. It's a different ball game. You must take charge and go to the grassroots to talk to the people as a governor. That is when you can salvage the situation. It's not too difficult in Lagos State to do, because we have a youthful governor who can, come down and dance buga and and do everything with the youths.
Yes.
But this is the way to do now. You cannot isolate yourself from these youths. They are hungry, they are unemployed, they want their future to be assured. Who can assure them other than somebody in authority?
So much so that it is said, there's a theory out there that, according to the Edo State governor, that they're not even looking at the two lead parties, APC and PDP now. They're looking for something else altogether, which is quite telling. But let me take Reverend Dominic, who has called in. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Chief Ogunlewe. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please, I want to beg if the former Honorable Minister for Works could answer my question genuinely. I want to ask him by your topic today. Is Chief Ogunlewe worried about the shifting ground of politicians from one party to the other when it matters most? And why did I ask that question? Presidents have a lot to play in life, in prosperity. I know Chief Ogunlewe is one of the strong, AD member in Lagos. When Obasanjo came into power, and with all his Obasanjo want to do to have majority from the Southwest, Chief Ogunlewe was first person who jumped the gun in the Senate then and jumped to PDP. Does it bother him now that people are trying to do the same thing to Asiwaju so that they can lose maybe this election in the North? Because I see our Northern brothers moving again back to PDP as usual. Does it bother the Honourable Minister? Number two, of my contribution, our youths today are more on Twitter and the Facebook. Yori, how many youths voted in Ekiti State? I pray that the way they make noise in Twitter and Facebook, they will come out. I watch Ekiti from morning till night. I saw 60 years old men, 70 years old women, 100 years old men. I didn't see much of the youth. Now we're going to Osho. Let's see how they will vote in Osho. It's all about making noise. Politics is local. Asiwaju may win this election because He's a local man. He knows how to play the politics. But the issue is that our youth will have to put what they call their faith to work, not just Twitter and Facebook and the mockery. They should put it to work. Let's see how they will vote in Russia, and let's see change. And let the honorable minister answer my question. Does it bother him of shifting this ground from left to right whenever he wants that most? Good morning, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. That you yourself have actually been a decamping to the PDP, and then in the fullness of time back to the APC. Take his question from there.
Circumstances have changed. You don't talk about 20-year-old history and make it relevant now. We are saying there is a surge for youths to now go and register.
Okay, because now it's like the youths are the big topic.
Yes, they've woken up suddenly to say we are going to register. The non-Yoruba speaking people are also getting up to register. Any political party will not ignore and be referring to 20 years ago. No. What must the party do now to participate in their reaction?
You're talking about Lagos, especially as you mentioned non-Yoruba speaking people. Are you concerned? Was that point directed particularly?
It is all over.
Southwest.
It is all over Nigeria. But it's more, visible in Lagos State. And we know what is happening, and we know what they can do in certain constituencies. Don't let us be unmindful of concentration of some, ethnic nationalities in some constituencies in Lagos State. You cannot ignore them. You cannot allow them to be free and vote against your party. You have to go and see them, assure them that no, don't do that. And we are for you. But if you don't contact me at all as a body, and you just assume I cannot injure you, it will be too late for you on the day of the election. I know what I'm talking about.
And you don't think it's too late now with
It's not too late. It's even too early.
If the right things are done, and a lot of hard work is put into it.
You cannot assume that it will not be done. You have to take leadership to them and assure them that no, it's not like that. You reside here, you are going to take care of what are your problems. What are you saying that we are not saying? Okay, they will lay complaints. Okay, we'll address them. But don't ignore them. It's too dangerous.
And do you feel that tended to happen in the past in Lagos here?
It has happened severally. In Lagos State, severally. But if I mention them now, I'll be leaking out strategy to curtail them.
Okay. Madam Ada in Jos, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Yori and Senator Adeseye.
Senator Adeseye Ogunlewe.
Adeseye Ogunlewe. I mean, your guess is on point there, Anybody who is underrating the massive participation of youth to go and register and thinking that it's a matter of Facebook or the internet or the social media is living in a fool's paradise. There's a big paradigm shift, as you mentioned, when I listened to Obaseki, what he said, about disobedience and the rest of them. So they should go and meet these various youth groups, or especially the ones, the youth leaders in the APC, And just like what you just said about the indigenous, the non-indigenous living in Lagos, they should go and meet them, meet the various groups and talk to them. Then you see all these party wranglings, it's because of the lack of internal party democracy. That is where it started from. The chairman of the APC did not help matters too, So that's what, and then the members of the House of Assembly, because they were not working towards national interest, that was why they overlooked something that was very important and shot themselves on the foot. Now they have all started defecting and all that, and it will cause a lot of harm on the party if underground work is not done seriously. I don't know how they're going to go about it, but it is a serious matter. Especially the ones that are popular, they are not living alone now. They are living with their crowd. You understand? That is the issue. So that is it. It's from the onset. In fact, that chairman of APC is part of the problem. Let me just tell you the truth. From the onset, the way they handled everything, all this imposition, gunshot, at gunpoint consensus, all that is where it started from before they got into this model in the National Assembly. I just pray. I don't know how it will be, but I know that 2023 election is going to be very, very serious. It's going to be contested serious. It's not going to be, business as usual. And our votes will count. I have that belief that our votes will count. So let everybody go and get the PVC and let us go there and vote for somebody who is capable to get us out of this mess. The youth are more eager now, more because of most of the youth, they are universities, they are in polytechnics. The tertiary institutions are on strike. I mean, they are at home. So what do you expect? God bless you. Let's not give up in this country. That's my take this morning.
Thank you very much for calling in, Ada. She spoke about, she mentioned internal democracy, which has been a problem, let it be said, maybe in all of the parties, but in particular, there have been complaints from members of your party, APC, that internal democracy distinguishes itself in the APC by being absent. And somehow we've been managing it before, people have known how to work within it, but this is a totally, as you have said, it's a totally different ball game now. There's nothing like an idea whose time has come. APC would have loved to be able to mobilize the youths 10 years ago, 5 years ago. They might have spent resources in that direction. But now, the youths themselves seem to have woken up. This whole matter of internal democracy, is that part of the work that has to be done? Ada criticized the chairman of your party just now.
It's restitution now. Okay. It's persuasion. The time has passed for blame, for blame game. No. My own is the damage has been done. There are restlessness in some people. They are disgruntled. They are unhappy. How do we manage them? Universities have closed for how long? Federal government has how many universities? What is the population of students in our polytechnics, colleges of education, and universities? If all those ones are disgruntled, their number, can you imagine the damage they can do? So we cannot take anything for granted. There are some families, they have 5 graduates unemployed. And those 5 graduates, they want to go and vote.
And they are feeling angry right now.
What are you going to tell them when they are going to vote? So we must do a lot of damage control.
Okay. One moment. Mazi Okorafor in Arochukwu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, August Minister, Water Minister, sir. You see,
Senator Ogunlewe.
Senator Ogunlewe, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Honorable. You see, the issue Nigeria is facing is this issue where people talk about go and vote, PVC. I start laughing. The welfare of the staff there, the number of staff there are not enough. That's number one. Number two, the machine there are not enough. Because I was watching some of this today, even I went there. I saw the number they go by wants to transfer from one unit direction. The number of staff, and I asked them, this machine for who? For how many people? They say for all this class. Said that. Now, where are the staff now? Only one person was doing it. But the question is this, if INEC can try and bring in ad hoc staff, even to collect, at least I know a boy where can even register up to 50 or 60 people within 1 hour, 30 minutes. Some of these people, they are not fast. Now, issue of defection, so you let us face the reality of life. The governors cause all these things because they are now told to be one kind of the oracle in the state. They will decide who will be a senator, who will come to House of them, who will be that is the issue. As long as the governors have taken a higher post, that's dictating what to do in the state. Defection must continue going on. It cannot stop. Now you ask yourself, why are the senators, House of Rep members, defecting? That is the question. In Nigeria, we test symptoms, we don't change the causes. Many of them failed woefully because they didn't give the dividends of democracy to the constituency. Now, they are now defecting to another party so that you go back and start the normal constitution you did in the front. It will not work. Whether they defect to 20 parties before the election, I bet you they are not going back. I pray that up to 100 of them, both House of Rep and Senate, they will not go back. There should now that's a new crop of people to come on board. We cannot be recycling. Look at what is happening in Kigali. They are telling us now, UK will give government money. They will not send Taliban from Afghanistan that are the refugee camp back to Africa, and now creating another terrorist group in Rwanda. They will now spread and come back to Nigeria, increasing the number of terrorists we have now. Now, African leaders say they should not collect any money from UK. Let the UK take care of, because international law says that when somebody steps into your country, it is your responsibility to take care of that person, not to send that person to another country. That is what Nigeria is saying to them. Senators, they are failed. They didn't deliver. Because if you are working in a place and you let us face reality, it takes your time to come to this program. You bring that.
Okay, Mazi, I beg your pardon, Mazi. I've got to, jump in a bit. Thank you very much for calling, but I've got to go off on a break. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back, and we'll continue with the conversation and your phone calls. Okay, welcome back, and my guest is Senator Adeseye Ogunlewe, a one-time Minister of Works and APC chieftain. It's been noted that, he started off side of the PSC, but he moved. Maybe that was a controversial statement I made. He moved to the PDP, and he's now back with APC. That has been mentioned, and I said that's a 20-year-old idea. Matters are entirely different now. We're looking at the current situation where politicians, especially those that require a ticket for the elective offices, want a return ticket, will not be able to get it as a result of the fallout of the Electoral Act the way it is. And so we're discussing that. Let me ask you, sir, what is it that distinguishes an APC member from a PDP member and indeed some other member? I'm talking here about the ideology of a party. Is that a relevant concept? That if you're a member of the APC, you subscribe to this political ideology. And so it's not going to be easy for you to go to another party, because it means you have to go and learn the cantons all over again. How relevant is that whole idea about APC is different and it's not going to be easy to switch because the ideas might be at variance with what you profess? Is it a relevant concept?
We did not start establishing political parties based on ideology. We have missed that point as a nation. Where we are now is type of leadership. If you have a governor who believes in capitalism, who believes in acquiring wealth, creation of wealth, or a governor who is a welfareist, who is for the people, greatest good for the greatest number, it is his own policy that will determine the type of government it will run. So the party is not as important as it was before. In Action Group, UPN, even NCNC time. It is now left for who is the leader, who is the governor, what are his concept of governance. And that is what we are doing now as a nation. Or Mr. President.
Everybody is just working by their own lights.
By their own experience and exposure about leadership.
So there's nothing that unifies members of... No. Really? Apart from their self-interest?
Yes, not self-interest.
It is self-interest.
Their own idea of governance. What will a government do for the people? They will now establish their own parameter. And this is not a party matter. But this is not the position, the opportunity for us to say, at a particular period, the leadership of the party will sit all the governors down and ask them questions what they are doing in their respective state with relevance to the policy of the party.
But that is not what obtains now.
We don't have that
you said we missed that particular aspect of the foundation.
It is no longer relevant.
When in APC and all the other parties were being built, perhaps.
It is built by people. There are different type of people, different concepts, different upbringing, different perception of life.
So there's a lot more work going forward.
Yes.
Going forward as a nation.
But you need a leader who has the people at his heart.
Okay.
How do I serve these people with the best of my ability? And the people will be satisfied with you.
Bearing their yearnings in mind.
In mind.
Okay. Taiwo in Nottingham, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Please, can I speak to the Honorable Minister there?
Yes, please go ahead.
Minister.
Well, Senator Ogunlewe, as you know, is a one-time Minister of Works.
Yes, I know he was a former minister in Nigeria.
That's right.
And Senator, he made mention of one thing, which is an insult to the youth of Nigeria.
Eshawo. Taiwo. Oh, that was not a fine place to lose the call at all. He felt you had somehow rubbished the youth, but I don't know. He didn't get, before that call dropped, we didn't get to what he was going to cite as a particular of that charge. But what you've said in relation to the youth that I can recall connected with this is that they really have become a factor. In fact, they have become the focus.
Yes.
In fact, they must be kowtowed to almost.
Yes, they must be listened to.
They must be.
They must be harvested. They must discuss with them. You cannot ignore them. You didn't get me right. I said the youth of today are not the youth of 2019. They will be more relevant now than ever before.
Mm-hmm. Because what the youth are saying now is actually, we want it, and we want it all.
Yes.
And that's why you unprecedented numbers registering. It looks like something else. It looks like a bazaar when you see people registering. Even that itself is causing some, unfortunate challenges. It is alleged that some people are uncomfortable about the rate at which the youths are registering, and so are trying to move in. And now
that is lazy politics. No, the more they register, the more you harvest them. The more you move to them, you cannot leave them alone.
Do you think the APC has the wherewithal to do this?
APC has youth leader at each ward, at the local government, at the senatorial district, at the state, and at the national level. They have a committee of youths. So they must just work harder. That's all. The structure is there for them to do the work.
This structure that we talk about, in fact, one of the things that the APC sort of depends on, maybe not just the APC, also the PDP, is that some of the challengers to, admittedly, the seniors that are in charge of these parties, they say they don't really have structures, and it's not as easy as some people would think. Those that you allege are lacking in structure are saying that the very people are the structure. In fact, I think I've heard Peter Obi say that you, the people, are the very structure that they say we don't have.
No. We are talking about different things now.
Yes.
The structure is who is going to be at your polling units. It must be part of your party. Who is going to be your canvasser at the polling units? Who is going to campaign for you to bring people to come and vote for you in the constituency? That is the structure they are referring to, not the voters.
Okay, but isn't that coming from a party structure that this party is on ground?
Yes.
It has an organization.
Yes, that has members. You can have an organization without members.
Okay.
How many members do you have to go around the over 13,000, 14,000 polling units in Lagos State alone?
For example.
So you need 13,000 people to be at the polling units, times 5, because you need at least 5. So that is the structure they are talking about.
Okay.
And if you don't have that type of people to manage your polling units, you are at a disadvantage.
Bitrus calling in from Adamawa. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Thank you for calling in.
Yes. I want to say something, please, to the senator. Good morning.
Go ahead, please.
All right. I want to say something to Mr. Senator. He was like saying that the youth they are awoken. Yes, of course, the youth have awoken now. What these people don't know is the youth now that they are saying we are campaigning on Facebook. No, we have our PVC and we are ready.
Yep.
We are ready.
Okay.
people that are going to work for us, because we have tested the PDP and we have tested the APC. It's not working. Nothing is working. So now, as it is now, we, the youth of Nigeria, we are ready with our voters card, and we are going to make a difference. Thank you very much.
And you're going to make a decision, I imagine, from where you stand. Youths, as you say, are now up and doing, are active, and have the PVC, the key, as it were. And I think everybody is optimistic that votes, unlike before, perhaps, arguably, votes will count this time around. It then remains, I think what the senator has said is that where the youth will put their power, their vote, will depend on how, shall we say, how serious people are in wooing them and persuading them and convincing them that it's better that you cast your vote for us, whoever that party is. Okay, I think he has moved on. I think the gentleman has moved on. But
fortunately for us, APC is youth-friendly. Very, very youth-friendly. We just only need to do more. What people are, the perception of people about election is that everybody that have PVC must vote in one particular direction. It depends on the effort of members of the party. A party cannot ignore them and believe that they are not important or relevant. A party should set up a strategy to woo them. The youths are important now. Go and get
well, they've always been important, but perhaps they weren't taking as seriously
as now.
As now.
So
that they have decided to take themselves seriously.
So much, youth-friendly that everyone has youth leader. Every local government has youth leader.
Okay.
Every senatorial district has youth leader.
So the structure is there. That structure is there.
We have a national youth leader. So it is not that they have ignored youths. No.
Okay.
These are part of the structure of the party.
Dr. Emeka in Surulere, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chief Yori. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ogunlewe.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to make it very clear that the goodwill APC enjoyed in 2015 is no more there. It has evaporated completely. I want to make it also very clear. Chief Yori, I was at the vanguard. We were all campaigning for APC. Mr. George, Yakub, Reverend Dominic, so many of us, even at journalist hangouts, we were really campaigning. In fact, so many of us were giving all kinds of names. But I can tell you we are ashamed. APC has a lot of baggages, and they are creating so much baggages the more. The other time, the youths are lazy. This time, the youths are to be kowtowed with. If you really let me make it very clear to you that the way Nigeria is going is entirely terrible. Everything we shouted about in 2014-15, they have all tripled and if not quadrupled. ASU is on strike, killings are increasing, kidnappings are ongoing. A lot is happening. In fact, Chief Yori, there's a very big problem. And APC should not talk about 2023. They have failed. They have completely failed. They shouldn't talk about that because they should be worried about if Nigeria still wants them. Thank you so much, Chief Yori. I appreciate it. God bless.
Well, thank you very much. You heard that. And
very much so.
He said, he mentioned...
I share in his concern. Very much so. But a new king is coming to rule Egypt who does not know Joseph. APC of 2023 will not be APC of the last 8 years. Anybody that is coming up must come up with a more convincing idea, more robust policy. You cannot sit down and say everything is okay. No.
Because of the performance. Right now, as you know, the administration, it has its own information people.
You have to change
but they're saying that they've done great. They are saying that they've done great. Well, I suppose they can't say anything else. If you sit
down on people's perception, you will not move forward. You have to create your own image and let them look at you as a different person. And that's what I assure you is going to give us a different perception to governance.
Okay.
And the governors will also change their style. Fortunately for us in Lagos, Governor Sanwo-Olu is only 57-year-old. So, what are you talking about? He can descend to be a youth. and talk to people. We must do more of talking now than to assume that we are there. No.
Well,
the more they criticize, the better.
People will say not talking, that they want action, especially the youth. They want action.
Yes, but they will do the action together. We must carry the youth along in all what we are doing. We call them. Okay, which area have we failed? Okay, let us rectify. Don't assume that they are not aggrieved. That's all.
Yes, that much. I think that much is very, very important. Because
what is the solution?
There's a tacit acknowledgement on your part that what Emeka just said, Dr. Emeka just said now, and other people are saying, this is a matter of the performance. Even die-hard loyalists, well, as far as our program is concerned, Emeka just mentioned a handful of people.
He's a friend.
Yes.
I know him very well.
Exactly.
We will sit down and address the issue. We will not ignore critics. No. The more you criticize, the more we come to you as a friend. Because we have the government is for everybody. It's not government of one particular person. You must look at yourself as if you are a participant. So anybody that is criticizing must be part of you. Okay, you come on board. What is the solution? Let us share our ideas. Then we move forward. We cannot ignore them.
A new script, so to speak.
Yes, we cannot ignore them.
Lawson, Mr. Lawson in Benin City. I thought we had Mr. Lawson calling in from Benin City. No?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, times and season have changed. Knowledge has increased, and the youth have decided to take their destiny in their own hands. APC has really messed up in this era, and people are looking for the best way to go, especially the youth. But the damage has been done, but there is still something that can happen. Led from the national party or the national chairman of the party.
Continue, please.
They should put their house in order.
Okay, well, that's exactly what the senator has been saying. That there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
That the house has to be put in order if it is going to go the way
because sometimes
APC.
Those of the youth, most of those youth just need change. They don't even, if you ask them why this person that you are clamoring for, they don't even know because they are angry. Their anger can be, like what Senator said, let's engage these youth and make them feel their APC candidates in another perspective. The deal has been done, but you need to reset the youth mind and start having them to focus because many of them don't know the reason why they want to vote for the other party, the other man. They are not voting because they want him to come and perform. They just need that change. That's what they just need.
All right.
But we have engaged them. We have engaged a lot of them in the street. When you ask them why this person, they will say he's young. We just need change. They don't know the reason. That means their mind is still very, very open to accept a candidate from the other party. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu need to do a serious work by engaging these youth. If he fails to do so, then everything is wrong. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Lawson from Benin City. Going back to Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu that you spoke about earlier, that, well, now he's forward and center of APC.
He's the agent of a new Nigeria, definitely. And I can assure them he's not going to sit back without talking to people. He's a person that is likable. He's a person that will listen.
He's also a grassroots person.
He's a grassroots person.
Being an international person.
His friends, you cannot imagine the number of friends he has that are younger than him. He doesn't have too many people as old friends. People that are down there
in age
are closer to him than us.
But he's always been for the youth.
Yes.
Look at his cabinets, for example.
Yes.
Look at his think tanks and all of that. They've always been youthful, so there is that. Whether he was hampered or not, you see, APC came with so much promise. The single word, change. And so people said, oh, there's not too much grammar here. I can understand the word change. There is going to be change. But as you are hearing, a lot of people feel that.
There is a difference now. the change of 2014 was they didn't include the candidate. All the manifesto they wrote were written without the consent and participation of the candidate. So when they came to power, it was strange to him what they were saying. These things have changed now. Bola Tinubu will part and parcel of the manifesto you are writing.
Okay.
It will be the one that is going to even add so many things, so that when they talk about them, it will not say, "Look, I didn't participate in that." So Nigeria the hope is bright with him. Some people say, I have to change to support him because I believe in him.
Okay.
I believe in his capacity.
Okay, that is answering those who haven't even said it yet, but
yes.
in case they're saying that, but you went to the opposition.
Things have changed.
And you believe
I believe
in him.
that this is the man who can salvage this country. There is no doubt at all. They talk about his qualification, is this one. That is a matter for the court. Anybody who is aggrieved or says something should go to court, and they should stop writing anything they want. They will be taken to court themselves.
Okay, you're talking
this is
about
a democracy,
the whole internet thing over the weekend of
anybody
his
that
credentials.
continues it will pay for it. Because, I mean, the legal department will take them to court. That's all. Yeah. They should stop it.
Okay, but today,
if you have anything,
they have spoken on that whole matter.
The Constitution of Nigeria is as I specify under Section 137 how you can disqualify a candidate. It is not your thinking. It is not INEC that can disqualify anybody. It is the Constitution that has specified under which condition anybody can be disqualified. So stop it. The man is moving on, and the man is going to win. That's not doubt at all.
Okay. Just exactly as you are saying it, everybody else in their own parties are also saying the same thing.
Yes.
That their man is going to win. You understand that?
Yes.
Well, but you're saying that it's a bad situation, but it's not an impossible situation to retrieve.
With a changed person, with a changed mind, with a changed brain.
Which you think you have with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
It will engage youths. It will engage the non-Yoruba speaking. It will engage all Nigerians. And the participation will be greatest good to the greatest number.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Senator Adeseye Ogunlewe, former Minister of Work, APC Chief Whip. Now, thank you very much for coming on the program and sharing your insight with us. That's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.